How's it going, guys? So we saw France put in an outstanding performance up against New Zealand. Albeit they lost, they made a big statement that they are not to be overlooked or underestimated. So I want to give my potential squad to play the All Blacks in the next game. And I want to break it down, right? So before I continue, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And if you guys do want to grab yourself a free 30-day Amazon Prime Prime Video trial, check the description below and you'll find a link for that. So let's break it down. Right now, first up, like I said, the French, they put in a spectacular performance. They showed the world that they are not just a B team. They are not to be labeled a B team or a C team or a D team or whatever you want to call it, right? They have a lot of experience, they got a lot of potential, and they got a lot of players that want to prove a point. They want to make sure that Galthié sees them, and especially coming into the end of the year when we have things like the autumn nations and things like that, they want to be fighting for positions, right? So I want to give a squad that I feel would still be able to give the All Blacks a very good shot and really put a lot of pressure on them. Now, there have been a couple players that that ever since the top 14 finished, some players ended up becoming available. Now, uh, I wanted to incorporate them as best as possible because they couldn't play in the first game. The reason why is because they had just played. They had just played in their finals, so they didn't really have time to rest and actually prepare themselves. So we saw who was it? So we saw Barassi, we saw Dumortier, we saw um, Bocaton, Vernier Talifa, and I think it was Leo Barre. So these were players that have joined up with the squad and are now going to be ready. They're going to be fit. They're going to be essentially, they are going to be good to go. And this is exactly what we want. We want to add a little bit more of that experience, a little bit more of that potential to the squad. So right next to me, you'll see I'm going to break it into my forwards and then into my backs. So first up, we're looking at the forwards. I am going to be putting number 1, Demba Bamba. I think he's a brilliant loose head prop. Plays for Racing, and he just brings that power, and he can cover both sides, which is also very nice. We have Guillaume Marchand at hooker, currently playing for Lyon. He's very good. His line out ability, his calling is brilliant, and I think he is still very much an underrated player. I think he has such a future as well. And like I say, when it comes to forwards, they can get into their early to mid 30s and still be playing the best rugby, right? If anything, that's when they are playing their best rugby. So I think Marchand is going to be a key player for them, especially to start off with. And then Colomb as tight head. I feel he's such a strong scrummager. We saw him in the Six Nations as well. He's got a lot to prove, and he's got a lot to show. So I'm going to give them my front three. I feel that they give a good size pack. They give strength. They give good experience, and they give a lot of promise as well. So a little bit of a mixture of everything there. In terms of my lock pairing, I'm giving it to Tyler Duguid and then Romain Taufifenua. Duguid, he's just got that physical edge. He's got that pace, and then Taufifenua, that senior presence, that experience. That big player. So I think having someone like Duguid next to Taufifenua would be a good matchup, a little bit of both, best of both worlds. Moving on into my back row, I am giving this my number 6 to Alexander Fischer, Cameron Woki, and then my number 8, I'm giving this to Jacobus van Tonder. Now, Jacobus van Tonder, I believe he's actually South African, but he is eligible to play for France. I do believe he currently plays for Perpignan, and his pace, the breakdown, the jackling, he's got a lot to prove here, and he's going to be an absolute nightmare for the French. For the All Blacks. He's going to make sure that there's a constant pace on him. Same thing with Fischer and Woki. I feel Woki's had a brilliant game, couple set of games recently. I'm still in and about with as to whether he's actually going to start, because he has been in and involved this French side quite a lot. So there's every chance that Galthié might end up replacing him for somebody else. But I feel this back row will keep the pressure on the All Blacks. They'll put they'll force a lot of errors, and they'll make the All Blacks have to think very, very hard. Now, albeit the All Blacks kind of retained pretty much everything in terms of statistics, having the pressure, having that fight, having that dog in them is going to force the All Blacks into errors. And I think this is where the French are going to need to capitalize, because they're not going to have the possession. More than likely, they're not going to have the territory. So they're going to have to fight for every single ball. They're going to have to fight for every single penalty physically possible, every single turnover. And having players like this, having that energy, having that work rate, I feel this is what's going to be needed to be able to get anything out of this game. Moving on into my halfback pairing, I cannot give this to anybody other than Maxime Lucu, number 9 spot. He is going to be essential. He is my big man for the games, and I feel Lucu is going to be essential. He's that tactician. He's that mastermind. He's going to get the ball going so quickly. He's going to keep things at a very, very good pace. So for me, if they're going to want to get anything out of this game, Lucu needs to start. And then I am giving Leo Barret my number 10 spot. Right, he's another player that's been brought in, and he's composed, he's confident, he's got so much ahead of him. We've seen him in the Six Nations, we've seen him playing at club level. He is just, he's playing well above his ears. He's just got that mindset. It's like everything slows down when he's on the ball. He makes things look far too easy. And he's definitely one for the future as well. Now, obviously, he can also play at 15 as well. So we could potentially see a couple things changing. But for me, I want to start him at 15 and then see how things go. My centers, I'm giving it to my number 12 is going to be Gaël Fickou, the captain. I think he's going to start pretty much everything he's going to need to. He is that glue. He is that player that's going to lead by experience, and he's just that leader. He's that leader in midfield, which is exactly what we what the French are going to need. His partner at number 13, I'm giving this to Barassi, another player that was brought in after the top 14 final. He's got the experience. He's a big game player. He's such a big run of the ball. He's so quick on his feet, and I think he is going to do wonders. This is a kind of player that can really, really set a game for you. He's a kind of player that can really put points on the board for you as well, and also create disruption. So it's going to be interesting to see him at 13. I want to give my wings. So first up, my 11, I'm going to give to Ethan Dumortier. He was rested in, I believe, was rested in the first test, but he's such a dangerous finisher. He's so clinical, he's so fast, and he's so quick on his feet. I think he will cause a lot of problems. And then his opposite end, I'm giving to Theo Atisogbe. Now, he's been pretty much involved in everything, but normally he's been playing at that 15 role. I want to get him out from that 15 role. I want to get him into the 14 role where he's more confident. I want to give that to him, get him playing on that wing. He's brilliant on the air. He's so quick. He just gets things going. You know, when he's on the ball, he's getting something done. He's making movements. He's making those runs. He's using those inside channels. He's running his lines, and he's causing havoc no matter what he's doing. Whenever he is on the ball, he is causing havoc, which is something that the French are going to need to make. They're going to need to be putting as much pressure on the All Blacks as possible. And then having a player like Atisogbe in your backs is definitely going to help that situation. And then at my 15, I want to give this to Cheikh Tiberghien. I can never pronounce this guy's name because it is confusing as all hell. I'm pretty certain the first name is Cheikh or Sheikh. And then Tiberghien or Tiberghien. I don't know. I'm going to go Tiberghien at fullback. So another player that is, he's very good at coming out. He can play a couple different positions as well. He's very good under the high ball. He's a very good runner of the ball as well. So I think he definitely has something to show and something to prove, especially considering the amount of depth that France has at 15, right? Like I say, these are all just moments that players need to make use of. And then my bench, I am going to give, so I'm going to go Gaëtan Borloo, Paul Mallet, Regis Montagna, Esteban Abadi, Tisserand, Nolan Le Garrec, Nicolas Deportere, which I would love to see play. I have a feeling we might see Barassi or Gaël Fickou come off and then have Deportere come on at certain points. Gabin Villiers, I've left him on the bench because I feel Villiers, he's had so much play time. I think Galthié, he's going to want to give some other players a bit more experience, a bit more time to get on the actual field. So I'm leaving Villiers on the bench and then just to come on as an impact player for when he is needed. So yeah, I think having someone like Bamba, he's just going to add that muscle, but he's going to maintain that set piece security. Gaël Fickou, as always, he's the glue. He's the one that sticks everything together, and I think he's just going to lead a rotated squad backline with structure, understanding, and he's going to keep that line getting settled and ready as quickly as possible. And then I think that the Lucu Barre partnership will just work wonders, especially up against the All Blacks. They are so quick. They are very unpredictable as well. Barre, he's able to work absolute wonders. So I think this is going to have that nice little bit of experience with a little bit of flair, with a bit of promise, with a bit of muscle, and like we now have the likes of Gaël Fickou, Barassi, and Deportere all able to play in the same squad at the same time, right? So they have options now, much better, much more elite options to be able to use, right? So the more this is going on, it's not necessarily looking like this is a B team. And what is really classified as a B team, right? Technically, it is a B team considering the level of the French. But if you look at the level of players that are playing, this is an A team for a majority of nations around the world. It just so happens that the French have a lot of depth, right? So I don't know. It's like saying that when South Africa bring on their bomb squad, it's their B team. It's their B team of forwards. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just it is what it is. France are stacked. They are stacked. They got so much depth, and a lot of these players have had a very long and grueling top 14 season. And if anybody has watched top 14 rugby, you know how grueling it is. They need rest. They need time to spend with their families. They need time to sit on their couch and do nothing. I'm not even watch rugby or watch anything. I'm talking watching SpongeBob on his sofa with their kids and, just doing nothing. They need time to unwind, right? It's a long year. And as a fan, it's lovely because you're always seeing teams play. You always have rugby. If it's not club rugby, it's international rugby. Think about it. You as a person, would you want to be working non-stop? What, you have 2-3 weeks holiday and then you go straight back to work? Throughout the year, you need time with your family. So these guys are ridiculous. Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. We look at Colom, we look at Taufi Fanua, we look at Duguid. These are big, big players that can perform at the highest levels. So I don't know. I think Galthié has a lot to play with. He has a lot to play with, right? And I think someone like Woki, who's developing into a leader, he's developing into a very strong and a very promising player. Lucu is already a very experienced player who knows how to get things done. We have Fickou, same thing. So, and then you look through the squad, there's a lot of experience placed at crucial points to keep everybody's heads settled, straight, and ready. So yeah, let me know what you guys have to say. I want to hear what you guys think and what your predicted squad's going to be, because honestly, I feel the French are going to be putting in another top tier performance. Would I say we are going to see France come away with a win? Personally, I don't think so. I still feel New Zealand will have just that slight edge on them because of experience, player quality, and so on. But will the French give them a run for their money? 100%. And honestly, the way I see it, if Razor is not able to get strong and dominant performances from the All Blacks out of this French test, he needs to be worried, because if they are struggling to beat this French side, what is going to happen when they go up against the Springboks, a fully fit and strong French side, a fully fit and ready to go Ireland side? I don't know. Things need to improve for the All Blacks. This is the moment where the All Blacks need to prove, they need to shine, they need to be ready. So, like I say, please like and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.